Hello, and welcome to the Whispers of Hope show. I'm your host, Alice White. Today we want to welcome Michele, and Shad Woodman to our show. Kira is a singer, songwriter who is joining us today to share her story and music. Shad is Kira's manager. He has toured around the world as a sound engineer, doing national shows. He is also the owner of Decade Sound Studios in Tacoma. Thank you for joining us today. Hi, Shad.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks for having us here.
Yes. So would you like to share your story a little bit with us about how this all came about with you?
Oh, sure. So about 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I guess now, I had opened a recording studio and had an Instagram page up, and somebody named Michele had sent me a note and said, I'm trying to promote my music and, just go check out my social media stuff. And so I'm like, okay, I went and clicked on her links and none of them worked. And so I kind of just pushed it aside for a little while, and then about a month and a half later, I thought, I never got back to that girl. So I just kind of reached out to her and I said, hey, why don't you come on down to the studio and, bring your mom and your dad or your support group or whoever, and just, I'll show you the studio and we'll talk about your music. I didn't know anything about her. She had not a lot of presence on the internet, and not really any experience or reputation. So she came down to the studio and I opened the door. She kind of reels back like she's terrified, and I was just like, okay. So I stepped back away from her and I'm like, you're safe here, and so she comes in and I kind of give her the tour of the studio, and she's like very, very untrusting and very you could tell she was pretty kind of injured. And so I kind of stayed back away from her, gave her the tour of the studio, and then I said, well, why don't you, show me what you got? She says, well, my guitar's out in my car. So I walk her out to her car, and her car was a 1993 Honda, was it?
96, I think.
96 Honda Civic that had been rear-ended by a semi. And the back end had been pushed up right to the rear windshield or the rear window.
True.
And she had a little club across the steering column so nobody would take her car. And she reaches in the back seat and she pulls out this guitar that it's like at best $100 guitar, and it's beat to crap. The top's falling off of it. She's got blue masking tape holding it together, and she flips the thing over, and on the back there's another big hole, and it's got tape all over it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into?
What have I done?
And so she comes in and she sits down on the couch in the control room at the studio, and she says, okay, well, I'm ready to play. And I said, okay. And she hits the first chord on this pile of junk guitar and just pulls every ounce of sound possible out of it, and starts playing and singing her butt off. And I was like, what just happened here?
Wow.
And so it was that day I had asked her to come in and just, I gave her a guitar and I set her up in the live room. We have a big sound system in the live room, and I said, just play. As long as you want, as loud as you want, just play. And so I kind of got to hear her a lot that day, and then I invited a friend of mine came down and set up a drum set behind her, because the studio's drum kit wasn't set up, and he's a pro musician, so he just kind of listens to what he's playing. His name is Chris Korzen. Hi, Chris. There's your plug. And she's never really had anybody play music with her, and so all of a sudden she's singing one of her songs, and Chris falls in behind her and starts playing, and you could see the smile on her face from outer space.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I just invited her to come back the next day. I said, if you want to come back the next day and we can, talk about your music some more and whatever. But it was really good. It was one of those things where I could see the heart. I could see, the emotive stuff that she was doing. And she played that pile of junk guitar so well. I was like, and she didn't know what she was doing with it, but it was really, really good.
Natural talent.
Yeah, and with my experience in working in the music industry for 30 plus years as a professional sound engineer, and doing a lot of big national tours and things like that, I've worked with a lot of very talented people, and I've not had somebody come in and just kick my butt like that. And so that's how her and I met, and that's how we started. And then I'll let her speak for the rest of her story, I guess, on that. But and so now, this is what we do.
This is what you do. So how long ago was it that you actually met up with Miss Kira?
2 years and 10 months ago or something like that?
Yeah, in the end of March, like the last 2 weeks of March, it'll be 3 years.
Yeah.
So your story about trying to contact this gentleman, was it something in your heart or something you wanted to get a hold of him to share your
I didn't
music?
know who he was, but I was trying to, I graduated high school,
Okay.
and I went and I moved to Tacoma, and it was called a street called Hosmer. It was just a terrible street.
I know
It
that
was-
street.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes.
lived there, and I sold all my guitars to, I guess, smoke weed and
Sure.
drink. I got addicted to alcohol and was
Sure.
just kind of doing that all the time. And then I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, I don't know who you are anymore. So I went and I bought a guitar. I was working at Kia of Puyallup. I moved to Graham, to my grandma's house. And I was working at Kia of Puyallup, and I went and I bought a guitar. I remember I got a $700 paycheck, and I thought I was rich.
Yes.
And I went and I was like, I'm spending all of it today.
Heaven.
Yep. And so I called out of work, and I went to Guitar Center, and I bought a guitar. It was actually $112. It was on sale. And I bought it, and I was trying to find my way through the industry for about 6 months, and I didn't really have any luck. I was just trying really hard. And I got so fed up one time that I took my guitar and I smashed it against my bed frame, and that's where that big hole came from.
Oh, it did. Okay.
And I sat against the wall and I was like, I don't know who you are, but I need your help. I just can't do this anymore. And at the time, I was in a really bad, abusive relationship. Like, we were both not, and it was a homosexual, abusive relationship.
Okay, sure.
And so then I saw this band, Sin Circus, on Facebook, and they were in a studio. Oh no, Instagram, and they were in the studio. And I was like, So I reached out to Decade Sound Studios, the studio they were in. And I think it was Devin Unger was next to an amp. And so I sent Decade Sound Studios a bunch of links that I had, and apparently they didn't work. So I come and I drive my car. He responds about a month later, and he said, why don't you come in and we'll just kind of, see if you like the studio. He had this girl that was looking for a band, and so he's like, why don't you just come on down or whatever. And so I did, and I do remember how scared I was when he opened that door, because he's not a small, guy. He's like this, and I was like, oh no. And so I had 2 pocket knives in my pocket. I didn't know what I was gonna do with them, but I was hoping I could get to him in time.
Protection.
Yep. And so I remember him backing away, and he had this silver jacket on. It was like, he calls his God coat, and just saying. And he had that on. And I didn't really let him speak. I was like, where's your studio? Where's your studio? I just kept saying that. I didn't really want him to talk to me. And so he's like, it's over here. And he was trying to give me the natural tour of the studio. And there was this room called the duplication room. And it was so narrow in there and small. And he goes in there to kind of just show me, like he does with everybody. And I'm like, I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there. And then he brings me into the actual, control room, and I was like, okay, this is a real place. So we actually called that duplication room the slaughter room for a while, because
She called it the slaughter room.
Terrified.
I was terrified, and so I remember I played on my song "Breathe," which it has over 22,000 downloads now. But when I met him, it didn't. So
Awesome. Now, did you create this song yourself?
yeah, I wrote it.
You did. So that's the part of your songwriting. That's wonderful. Okay,
So-
continue.
Yeah, no, that's how I met him. And I was in this band, I guess. We were forming a band with these 2 other girls, Megan and Anna, yeah. And we called it The Reason. And anyway, that didn't end up working out. And so he just kind of took me under his wing since, and he asked me this question. He said, do you want to learn what I can teach you? And I said, yes. And that's when he's been guiding me.
Wonderful. So all your expertise all these years, from how many years have you been?
30, more than 30,
years,
yeah.
Right. And this young lady walks into your studio and she just blows you away.
Yeah, and it was kind of a weird thing, because when she started singing for me, I was just kind of like, wow, what a great voice. And I was listening to the song, and I wasn't familiar with the song, and I was like, okay, well, where did she get that song? Because it sounded so good and so mature. I was like, a young girl wouldn't write something like that. So it's probably, I'm thinking it's like her version of a cover song that I just wasn't familiar with. And I said, well, where did you get that song? She's like, I wrote it when I was 16. And I said, really?
What?
And she's just playing the crap out of this just beat up old guitar. And I was like, all right.
Oh my
Yeah, it was just kind of one of those weird moments. And then when Chris called and said he was nearby, and I said, you got to come down here, you got to see this girl.
You got to hear that.
And he started playing drums, and I've never heard my music to drums before. And he let me play his amazing Breedlove guitar, which is now my show guitar.
It's my guitar, but she kind of, it's kind of her. Well, yeah, she has her own of the exact same model, but she still uses mine as her
like
primary.
his better. Yes.
Because you can have the same model guitar, but they just sound different because the wood and everything. And his is just, it's amazing. It's perfect, and I love it.
So probably when you were young, did you have music in your soul? Was it just a part of who you were, and you had to have the right place for it to be brought to the light?
Yep, absolutely.
Shad came into the scene. So what from here? Where do you go from here?
Well, we've been working. It's a long journey, and you know what? Just, I guess one of the things I've learned in the last 3 years is it is the journey that you got to enjoy.
Absolutely.
There's no destination that you're like, oh, I'm finally here, because there's always going to be, with passion, there's going to be more that you want to do.
Absolutely.
So I guess right now what we're working on currently, it's January 25th, 2020, first TV show here, and we have 2 other shows after this, and we have a tour in February, my first tour, Pacific Northwest tour. CD's almost done. We have a lot coming up this year.
That's wonderful. And we have a website so that our viewers would be able to realize, to get on that website and find out a little bit more about what's going on with you.
KiraMichele.com.
Okay.
Or you can type in Kira Michele with 1 L.
Into a search engine.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So at this point in time, you're on your way to sharing the music that you have in your soul. So you had ran into a special guest we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So let me explain this.
Yes.
This was amazing. Okay. So I went to this concert. Her name is Lauren Daigle.
Lauren Daigle. Yes.
Oh, man. I remember the first time I heard her on the radio, I was like, she was singing You Say. I was like, this is Adele. Lauren Daigle is so good. Anyway, I became a huge fan of hers, and I started learning that song You Say, and I asked Shad if we could do a cover of that and all that stuff, and I bought tickets to see her with one of my really, really good family friend members, Sherry Suter. We went there, and I met her through him, actually. To backtrack a little bit, 6 months after I met him, she came into the studio, and she helped me give my heart to Jesus.
Oh, that's
and so
wonderful.
I did that. My life completely turned around.
Your life has changed.
Oh, so much. And I'll explain that in a little bit.
Yes.
But the Lauren Daigle thing, we went to her concert in Portland, Oregon at the Mattis Center, and I got the worst seats in the house. I just did, because it was cheap and I wanted to see her. So we were all the way at the top, all the way to the right.
Nosebleed
Very
section.
nosebleed section, right next to the curtain where it cuts off the seat, right? And this guy comes up with floor seats. And Sherry's like, come on, Kira. And I was like, oh, no. And so we got the tickets and went down to the floor. And I remember turning to Sherry and I said, I'm going to sing with Lauren Daigle today. I said that multiple times to her.
Really?
Yep. And so Lauren Daigle, I was hoping she wasn't going to sing the song, and she didn't. So she sat in front and she got on chairs, started talking to the audience. It was very intimate. And I took that. And I went and I was running up to her. Security grabs my right arm. And I was like, nope, you're not winning.
You're
and so
not
I was like,
gonna win.
Lauren! Like this, Lauren! And so
love it.
she's like, oh, hi. And she starts talking to me. They let go. And I was like, can I please sing You Say with you? I promise I'm not a bad singer. And she goes, oh, I believe you're a good singer. And then she invites me over. And so she gave me the mic, and I got to sing You Say for her entire audience.
Wonderful. So how many people do you think were there in that?
About 10,000.
About 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And you just got up and just sang your little heart out.
I was like, it was just, I wasn't nervous or anything. It was like it was supposed to happen.
So Kira, you go ahead and sing the chorus that you sing.
Woo, yeah. Woo! You got this, girl.
You say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. You say I'm when I am falling short and when I don't belong.
got to hug her, and oh, it was
You
awesome.
did.
Yeah.
That was just meant for that to happen. So a gentleman comes up from nowhere, hands you ticket spots down front where you could go and present your music to her. That's wonderful.
Yep, I got to sing a chorus to her song in front of her audience.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, the surprise on Lauren Daigle's face on the video is pretty. She's like, "Oh,
It's amazing.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty
yes, yes. So you rock the place. I've watched that video, and you rock the place. Absolutely, I love it. So at this point, you have some songs you're going to share with us.
Yeah.
And would you feel free to do that today with us, to sing some songs?
Absolutely. I will
okay.
sing.
We'll take a short break, and we're going to get ready to hear some fantastic music from Kira today. Thank you.
Who says you can sit there and lie and tell me what's mine? 'Cause I don't remember saying you're in charge of my life. I'm holding in the tears from the words that I said. I'm surrounded by mirrors that reflect on what's dead. Criticizing, oh, am I dying? Not believing what's said from you. Heart is pounding fast, don't know if I can last any longer without the truth. 'Cause I know who I really am, and I know this has got to end. Who says you can sit there and lie and tell me what's mine? 'Cause I don't remember saying you're in charge of my life. You're sad of yourself and jealous of me, and mad that I am who I came to be. So leave me alone. It takes no time to change yourself than to pick on someone else. You like reactions from the people that are happy to feel good about yourself. Criticizing, oh, am I dying? Not believing what's said from you. Heart is pounding fast, don't know if I can last any longer without the truth. 'Cause I know who I really am, and I know this has got to end. Who said you can sit there and lie and tell me what's mine? 'Cause I don't remember saying you're in charge of my life. You're sad of yourself and jealous of me, and mad that I am who I came to be. So leave me alone. Leave me alone. Oh. Who says you can sit there and lie and tell me what's mine? 'Cause I don't remember saying you're in charge of my life. You're sad of yourself
thought cared about me. Acting like they know who I am and where I stand and where I'm going. It's hard to wipe the tears off my face, 'cause my disgrace hurts and backstabbing. And after all this pain is when I started realizing that it's okay. 'Cause all I gotta do is breathe. Just gotta keep on loving me. Don't give up, don't let go. All I gotta do is breathe. Don't let those people get to me. Oh, all I gotta do is breathe. Just breathe. Oh, holding me back is what they're trying to do. I gotta put up a wall so they can't break through. Once we were close, but not close enough. Oh, a friend doesn't put a friend down 'cause they got it rough. Oh, but it's okay. Oh, 'cause all I gotta do is breathe. Just gotta keep on loving me. Don't give up, don't let go. All I gotta do is breathe. Don't let those people get to me. Oh, all I gotta do is breathe. All I gotta do is breathe. Oh. This is my very first Christian song I've ever written. It's called I'm Not Alone. You see all the times I'm in pain. You pick through all the thoughts in my brain. You make it clear when I'm in a fog. When you're in my life, I see nothing at all. When I pray and when I cry, when I feel like nothing's going right, you're there. When I drop down to my knees on the dark days I'm feeling weak, you're there. You wipe every tear, you take away all my fears. I know I'm not alone. When I talk to you and you talk back, when I'm needing you, you hold my hand. I know promises will never be broke. You wipe my spirit clean, and now I feel you living through me. When I pray and when I cry, when I feel like nothing's going right, you're there. When I drop down to my knees on the dark days I'm feeling weak, you're there. You wipe every tear, you take away all my fears. I know I'm not alone. When I talk to you and you talk back, when I'm needing you, you hold my hand. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. I can't give you everything. I can't give you what you need. I can't take away your pain, but I'll try my best. I can listen with open ears. I can hold you when you're losing tears, but I can't take away your pain, but I'll try my best. This doesn't make you any less of a person, just like me. And you are a person who's in need, and if you will look up instead of down, then your heart can change around, 'cause you're a person who's hurt inside, and you're just living, but you have to try, 'cause no matter how old you may be, we all hurt equally. Ooh, oh, I see you living day by day. Ooh, oh, acting like everything's okay. You walk a straight line like a breeze, but I know you're hurting, 'cause you're a person just like me, and you are a person who's in need, and if you will look up instead of down, then your heart can change around, 'cause you're a person who's hurt inside, and you're just living, but you have to try, 'cause no matter how old you may be, we all hurt equally, equally, equally. We hurt the same, we cry the same, we love the same. We hurt the same, we cry the same, we love the change around, 'cause you're a person who's hurt inside, and you're just living, but you have to try, 'cause no matter how old you may be, we all, no matter how old you may be, we all hurt equally. This song is called Who I Am, and this is for all you ladies out there and any men feeling feminine tonight. No sitting around, no backing down, just looking good. My hair is down, and I got a smile, strutting like no girl would. So back it up, let me be myself. I feel beautiful today. Let me take my time, no need a rush. Let my booty shake, 'cause I am beautiful, no matter what they say. And I am dangerous in every single way. May have been broke, I may have been sad, but that doesn't matter. I'm strutting my stuff, I come back, subtract all my haters. I'm focusing on who I am. I'm smiling big, you know how it is to feel so damn good. Does it make you cringe, or does it make you itch to have just one look? So back it up, let me be myself. It's a perfect day, and to take my time, no need a rush. Let my booty shake, 'cause I am beautiful, no matter what they say. And I am dangerous in every single way. I may have been broke, I may have been sad, but that doesn't matter. I'm strutting my stuff, I come back, subtract all my haters. I'm focusing on who I am, who I am. This song I wrote when I was 17. I was actually going through a really tough spot in my life. My Aunt Michele actually passed away from cancer at the age of 38. And I was really close to her, and I was supposed to move in with her when I turned 18, and I was 17 and a half when she passed. At the same time, I had a surgery where I wasn't able to be mobile. I had to be in bed for a month, so I missed a month of school. I felt extremely lonely, and I couldn't do anything, and I was also going through a breakup at the same time. So I had a guitar and a piece of paper, and I wrote this song. And then September of 2019, Shad Woodman, my manager, he had his brother Keith Woodman pass away, and it was super unfortunate. He was very, very close with him, and it was super sad. And he came back from Oregon, and he went to edit this song in Studio One for the new album, and it really, really got to his heart. And so he dedicates this song to his brother Keith, and so I do the same. So this is Gotta Live My Life. Days are going slow, the times are getting cold. Will I get through? Oh, I'm trying as hard as I can to distract myself from this mess. Will I get through? Oh, I may lay in bed, I may hurt like heck, I may think that there's no way out, can't get through this now, but I know that whatever life brings, I gotta keep pushing through, 'cause I gotta be strong, gotta keep moving on, gotta push myself forward, gotta live my life, gotta do what's right, even though it hurts. There's things that are worse. I'm alive, I'm alright, gotta live my life. It seems it won't go away, it seems to get worse every day. Will I get through? Oh, the pain seems to come and go, and even I won't know if I will get through. Cause I gotta be strong, gotta keep moving on, gotta push myself forward, gotta live my life, gotta do what's right, even though it hurts. There's things that are worse. I'm feeling helpless on my own. This house is no longer my home. I see my future, see the light, but I want my baby all the time. I have dreams, I have goals. I can only reach them on my own. I want love, it's so tough. It's hard to guess the path I'll go. And if I tried going down the right path, will I succeed? And is it good not knowing if we will last? You're making my brain all funky like da-da-da-dum 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 da-da-da-da da-da-da-dum 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 da-da-da-da da-da-da-dum 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 da-da-da-da. You're making me, you got me shaking and breaking like my heart is racing oh so fast. 'Cause you're the best I ever had. But I see my future, see the light, but I want my baby all the time. I have dreams, I have goals. I can only reach them on my own. I want love, it's so tough. It's hard to guess the path I'll go. And if I tried going down the right path, will I succeed? And is it good not knowing if we will last? You're making my brain all funky like da-da-da-dum 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 da-da-da-da da-da-da-dum 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 da-da-da-da da-da-da-dum 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 da-da-da-da. You're making me, you got me shaking and breaking like da-da-da-dum 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 da-da-da-da da-da-da-dum 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 da-da-da-da da-da-da-dum 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 da-da-da-da. You're making me, you got me shaking and breaking like. This song is called I Cant Love Me, and I wrote this when I was 14 years old. This song means the most to me out of all my songs. It's definitely in the top 3 of my favorites, and this goes out to anyone out there who can find ways to love other people but are struggling to love and respect themselves. Try to be happy, but nothing goes your way. You try to be strong and love every single day, but every day is like being blown by the wind, falling down and getting up again, all by yourself. And you're trying to keep your life on track, not turning wrong and not going back. Sometimes you need help. Oh, I'm losing it. Help me out. It's hard to breathe by myself. It's hard to focus. It's hard to think how I can love, but I can't love me. Your head hangs lower than your heart. Your arms are covered in scars, and all you think is how you always feel, and all you can do is break through the shell of hurt. And you think is how all you do is push people away, 'cause you cry to them every day, and nothing seems to go your way. Oh, I'm losing it, help me out. It's hard to breathe by myself. It's hard to focus, it's hard to think how I can love, but I can't love me. Bring me in, hold me tight, let me scream, let me cry. You took it all from me, help me know how I can love me, so I can grow. 'Cause I can't love me. Oh, I'm losing it, help me out. It's hard to breathe by myself. It's hard to focus, it's hard to think I can love, but I can't love me. Bring me in, hold me tight, let me scream, let me cry. You took it all from me, help me know how I can love, but I can't love me. I can't love me. Ooh.
Kira, thank you. Those songs were absolutely wonderful. So I guess my question to you is, where exactly do those kind of songs come from?
Well, I actually was writing songs throughout my entire childhood. I guess,
Okay.
I mean, not entire, but I started at 11. I started playing guitar at 7. And just singing, I guess, when you're a singer, just kind of happens.
Just flows.
Yeah, for sure. I had a very rough childhood. My family was split up, and there was a lot of family fights and drama. And I was not very close with my family. And throughout that, that time, I ended up feeling not worthy and just all of these negative things. And to get through all of that, I was writing songs about what I was going through, what I was feeling. And so my song, I Cant Love Me, that I just sang, actually I wrote when I was 14. And that one is one of my favorite songs because it means so much to me. It came from a really broken place when I was 14. So I just kind of wrote throughout my childhood, and then I just keep writing and writing. But meeting Shad, my life has completely transformed. He taught me who Jesus was. I gave my heart to Jesus, and I came out of that homosexual relationship.
Yes.
I don't struggle with that anymore. I lost over 100 pounds. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. My life completely transformed. And now, from being that broken girl 3 years ago, we're now at 6,000 CD sales, over 95,000 website orders, and just being able to say that I'm going on my first Pacific Northwest tour in February. and tons more. My life completely transformed. And another thing is to be able to have a really good like band behind me too.
Yes.
Makes those songs come alive.
Of course.
Shad introduced me to some amazing musicians, world-class musicians that said, I want to be on this because it's so good. And if you want to explain kind
Yes,
of where you
please.
met them, who they are.
Well, I just kind of met most of them through being in this, in the music industry.
Okay.
And just people that I've known and worked with, here or there, whatever. And so kind of the way that the whole thing started is I was listening to her songs and I thought, this is like, we can build a full band version of this song, and this is kind of what I hear. And so, with people that come into my studio, I don't typically take the producer role. I'm just more of like the engineer, and letting them do their thing. But with her, I kind of, when she brings me a song, I get this vision in my head of what's possible and where it should go. And then I kind of explain to her what I think the song should be. And she kind of jumps right on board. It's like we have a really good connection musically of like where things need to go. And so she'll bring the song with the acoustic guitar, and then we'll kind of do a rough tracking of that. And then I'll put a click track down to it. We'll find the tempo of the song. And then it's a click track is a metronome that the other musicians can follow along with and stuff. And so then we can bring each musician in individually to write their own parts, and then I'll help produce in their parts as we're piecing the whole thing together. And then by the time it's done, we go, okay, well, there's the song, and now you guys have to rehearse it as a full band.
Right.
And so that's kind of the process that her and I go through to build the songs. But it's not something that I do with everybody, as far as like the producing side. But the musicians have their free reign to like write their own parts as long as they fit within kind of the texture and the vision of the song.
Of course.
Then we let them do what they do because they're very good at it.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
and they rap. They're all every player that we deal with is exceptional at wrapping their heads around what she's trying to say. And because they have the freedom and the understanding of where she's going, it kind of helps this whole thing like just kind of organically blossom into these amazing songs. And as the website's been getting more and more traction, she's not on Spotify or anything, so all of the stuff is coming straight from her website. 6,000 CD sales is nothing to sneeze at because there's national touring acts that don't even do that.
No,
and so
it's not. Right.
anyway, that's kind of what happens with the process. It's just mostly it starts with her writing the song, and then she kind of brings it to me, and she's always nervous to play the song for me.
Always nervous, like sweating nervous. Like, I don't know if I'm ready to play this, but he makes it comfortable.
Well, that's
So-
wonderful. So you
and he
guys,
listens,
you just
so-
work together. It just meshes.
We're a team, period.
You're a
Like,
team. Right.
People say, you're Kira Michele and stuff. You're right. I'm the songwriter and stuff, but
And you're the voice in the
I'm the
face, for
voice
sure.
in the face, but I don't do it by myself. I don't just write a song and say, this is what we're doing. I write a song and I float it by him, and he's like, he has the ear for it. He knows if it's good or if it's not. And I never get offended because usually my really, really good songs are the ones that I poured my heart into, and songs that I don't choose to put on my CD are the ones that I kind of had a feeling that I didn't put as much into it as I usually do. So
Awesome.
we're a team. That's just what it is.
Shad is also your booking agent.
He is my manager. Yeah, so he
Okay.
helps book shows and stuff. I have some other booking agents that do that. And then, of course, me, I also help book myself and all that stuff. It's just a grind that you have to go through.
Sure.
And it's okay, it's part of the job. But he does a lot of the technical stuff, and he talks to, the record labels, he talks to the booking agents, he talks to anyone that I don't know how to talk to.
Exactly.
And, it's like he represents me. Right, as my manager, and so people take him seriously.
Absolutely.
And it's a huge team thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than just somebody that wants to throw a title behind their name because they're
Right.
hanging out
Right.
with somebody.
Exactly.
It's like I have a little bit of credibility in the industry. And
Oh,
so when people say,
absolutely.
I say this is what I'm doing and this is,
They
my
know it to be
artist.
true,
They go,
right.
oh, okay, we take this
Coming
seriously.
from Shad,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, our
absolutely.
friends and family are like, it's Kira and Shad.
Yeah.
Because
There you
we're
go.
grinding in the studio
Right.
all the time together.
Right. Absolutely. That's where success comes though.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of
and
work.
it's funny because people they get caught up on like the contest shows like The Voice and America's Got
Oh, of
Talent, whatever,
course,
and
right.
she hears it all the time. And
Yeah.
people have gotten mad at me because I'm not forcing her to go on
To
these
go
shows.
on
and so one time she actually, what was it, America's Got Talent?
No, American Idol.
American Idol. So she goes on the audition for American Idol, and I had told her, don't do that because you kind of diminish the work that's been done by going on a contest.
This is true.
And so I found out about it the day after it happened. There was 1,000 people there, and she got into the top 30. And then, and then she didn't make it onto the show, but I found out about it because they posted a picture of it on the front page of the Seattle Times.
Me.
Yeah, her. Of
Everybody
all the
else, it's
1,000
your
people, they
picture.
got her
It's
on there.
Here, Shad, look.
Yeah, it's like,
and I was
Shad,
like,
look what happened.
oh my God, what is she doing?
So funny.
Yeah, so, but I'm really honestly happy I didn't make it on there. And it's because there's a lot of reasons why, but the things that we are building have so much more longevity than something like
Yes.
that.
Oh, absolutely.
And I want it to have longevity. And I'm not
Yes.
here to bash any shows or anything like
course
that. It's
not.
just,
Of course
I don't
not.
want to be locked into a
No.
place of American Idol's winner.
No.
I want to be Kira Michele, and Shad Woodman helped Kira Michele. And that's what I want it to
That's
be.
awesome. But you are open to engagements.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how would someone get a hold of you?
My website has contact information for booking, or it's actually mostly just my website, kiramichele.com. has everything
Okay.
on there.
And they can follow what you're doing, or
All social media is on there. All my release songs are on there.
okay.
All of it. So
Sounds good. Sounds good. Anything else you'd like to add today?
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks! There you go.
I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of.
I think that's appropriate. Well, I really enjoyed you guys being here, and I think we're running out of time today anyway. So how about if we just have you back on at another day?
I'd love
at
to.
your
You were very
convenience.
wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Just really want you to know that.
You guys are great. It was just a pleasure to have you here, and all the success and God's blessings upon both of you.
It's God. Period.
It is
it's all
totally.
God. It's God,
It is.
So.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you. We will have you back again. If you would like more information on the Whispers of Hope show, or if you would like to be a guest and share your story on our program, please see the contact information at the end of this video. You can also follow us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I want to thank you again for joining us. Goodbye.